This week on Supercars Talk, we can all rest easy because the hat rules have been clarified, and I look at whether Brodie or even Cam can still win the championship this year. The big news this week is regarding Hatgate. This is where Brock Feeney did not wear the Boost hat after winning the pole position on Sunday at Bathurst. So the rules at the time did say that you had to wear an Armour All hat after winning the pole award, which Armour All was the sponsor of the pole award for a very long time. Boost has taken over the sponsorship of that award this year, and of course Pete Adderton was not happy on Sunday at Bathurst because Brock Feeney did not wear the Boost hat because they are sponsored by Vodafone, and Triple Eight said we did nothing wrong because under the rules it says we have to wear an Armour All hat, not a Boost hat. So Supercars has gone through and changed the ruling to say that they have to wear, essentially what it says is you have to wear a hat at our discretion if you win the pole award. They've also changed the wording of the podium presentations because that did say that you had to wear a Dunlop hat, Dunlop being the official tyre supplier of the category. Now it's the same ruling on the podium. You have to wear the hat that Supercars deems the hat that you have to wear for that event. It doesn't say a specific hat, so that should clear up all of that. And at the Grand Prix, I think the Grand Prix has its own special rules where the pole awards don't really get handed out because of Grand Prix stuff, which it looks like at the Grand Prix this year, currently the way things stand, fans will not be allowed around the pits, if you're going to call it the tents that the Supercars will be set up in. Supercars is arguing their case on this one, that the fans should be allowed around the pits. There probably will be an opportunity for some corporate guests to go in at the moment, but not the normal fan stuff that we are used to. Speaking of the Grand Prix, the schedule has been released for the 4 days of action there. There will be more racing this year for the Supercars, even though there won't be any pit stops. Take a deep breath on this, okay? It will be two 20-lap races on the Thursday and Friday, and 15-lap races on the Saturday and Sunday. I think that was 18 and 12 or 13 last year. So it's not much more. It is more, but it's not much more. There won't be any pit stops during the races, though, obviously, because the F2 guys are taking the Supercars pit lane. They will be able to wheel some stuff into the pit lane for their races in case there is emergency stops, but there will not be a compulsory pit stop in each of the races. So on Thursday, if you're lucky enough to go there, it will be essentially a Supercars day with some Porsches running around as well. But there will be 2 practice sessions, then 2 qualifying sessions for the Thursday and Friday races, and then one of those 20-lap races. Friday, if you're lucky enough to go along, you will get to see one race from the Supercars of 20 laps only. Saturday is a little bit better. You get the 2 qualifying sessions for Saturday and Sunday's races and one of those 15-lap races. And then Sunday, you're probably not really there to see the Supercars. You're there to see a Formula 1 race, but you will only get one 15-lap race. My opinion on this is probably the last year we should really be going to the Grand Prix if this is the way we are going to be treated. I do understand commercially it is very good because you've got a big crowd for the sponsors and that there, but really if fans can't access the paddock, if you can't have a proper pit lane, proper pit garages, etc., what's the point in going? Let's call it a day and have a round Winton or something instead. I think that would suit our category better, where we can control it rather than being dictated by others. One of the other big topics that came out of Bathurst was the use, of course, of the soft tyre for the 1000. Currently this year, it is still down as a soft tyre race, but we did use the hard tyre over the weekend for the sprint races there, and racing was probably better. I'm not going to say it was brilliant racing there on the hard tyre as opposed to the soft, but it was probably better. The decision needs to be made very soon. Obviously, tyres have a long lead time. They've got to be shipped from somewhere else in the world. I think they're still made in Japan, but I could be wrong on that one. So what I'd like your opinion on this. Do you think that the 1000 is better suited to the hard tyre or the soft tyre? I definitely would prefer to see a hard tyre race for the 1000 and think they should have been using the soft tyres for the sprint racing there. What I would like to see though is the top 10 shootout maybe being done on the soft tyre, and maybe because the qualifying session is on the Friday afternoon, so we know who is in the top 10 shootout before Saturday. So there is another practice session before the top 10 shootout, and maybe the guys who get into the top 10 shootout get an extra set of the soft or the super soft tyres for the qualifying session to go out and do a qualifying simulation there on the Saturday morning before the top 10 shootout. And then, because I know a few people said, oh, well, then, you're creating different tyres, Well, it's 20 sets that you've got to take, maybe take a spare set or two, but in the overall scheme of things of all the sets that go there for Bathurst, taking a couple of extra sets just for top 10, I don't think that's probably going to break the bank in the grand scheme of things. And then we do get to see those headline top 10 shootout times, and something just a little bit different. It adds a little case of jeopardy in there as well, because currently going into the top 10 shootout, if you're the fastest guy in qualifying, you're probably going to be the fastest guy in the top 10 shootout, whereas the super soft, you will have to change the setup on the car. So there is that little bit of jeopardy there in the top 10 shootout. Some guys might, fluke on a setup and, go from 10th to 1st in the shootout, and some guys, might get it totally wrong and go from 1st to 10th or something like that. Just add a little bit of variable in there, which I think might be a bit more exciting. But down in the comments, let me know what you think about the tyre situation for Bathurst. Now, a question I was asked during the week was, did I think Brodie could still come in and win the championship from where he currently is? And of course, I said, yes, definitely. Depends which team he ends up with. And for that matter as well, Cam Waters, who was apparently, he was sick over the Bathurst weekend, was feeling nauseous or something. So that's why he had a bit of an off weekend. There was a list of excuses, if he'd got that qualifying run in on Saturday where Payne had beached it and things like that, it could have been a totally different weekend. But anyway, I'd like to just run through some facts though of, what are Brodie's chances of winning the championship still if he did come back? Or, Cam, he hasn't actually missed a round. But when we run through the last 20 odd years of the championship, there's quite a few cases where people could have or did sit out rounds. So as early as last year, 2023, Brodie won the championship by over a round. 2022, Shane Van Gisbergen won the championship by 2 rounds worth of points. 2020, Scott McLaughlin won by over a round. 2019, he missed a race at Surfers Paradise and still won the championship by nearly 2 rounds. 2014, Jamie Whincup won by nearly 2 rounds. 2012 and 2009, Jamie Whincup again won by over a round worth of points. 2008, Whincup missed the whole Hamilton round. He had a practice crash which wrote the car off for the whole weekend. He still beat Mark Winterbottom that year by a round worth of points. 2000, 2001 and 2002, Mark Scaife wrapped up the championship by mid-year. He won all of those with 6 rounds to go, just total domination. And in 1999, Craig Lowndes basically missed 2 rounds. He had, there was the 3 races at Calder. He did win race 1, but then he had that start line crash in race 2, was out for race 3 and missed the whole Simmons Plains round after that. And he still won that championship by a huge margin, even, basically missing 2 whole weekends. So definitely those guys who didn't do too well at Bathurst, or, in Brody's case, he might be on the grid for the AGP. There is still a chance of the championship being run and won by those guys. Missing one round isn't the end of the world. And I think this year, you haven't got, say, Shane Van Gisbergen or Brody Kosecki that he's going to run away with the championship. I think this year is going to be a lot closer. So, some guys will have a bad weekend. They might crash out of the 1,000 later on in the year and miss a whole bag of points there. So it's still very open, and missing Bathurst or having a bad weekend, it's not going to wreck your year totally. And the last little thing I want to cover off this week, I'm not sure what's going on with the audio. I have had a couple of issues. People have mentioned it to me. I know it's going on. I'm trying something different this week. We'll see how we go. Everything is fine on my end when I record and watch the raw files, and then I edit it, and everything's fine on that end, and then I upload to YouTube, and the audio seems to be playing up a little bit. So I've tried something a little bit different this week. See how it goes. Give me feedback on how it's going, good or bad, while I try and sort out what the hell's going on. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the tyre situation for Bathurst, and until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.